What's up, y'all? Haterade here, and in today's video we're going to go over a hunter build with Shinobu's Vow paired with the new Arc 3.0 subclass aspects and fragments. With this setup, you'll have almost 100% uptime on your grenades while creating an unlimited supply of elemental wells to boost your overall ability cooldown while buffing your damage output. With the exotic arms Shinobu's Vow and their perk New Tricks, your skip grenades are improved. You gain a second skip grenade, and when damaging enemies with skip grenades, it returns grenade energy. Jumping right into the subclass setup for this build, you'll want to run the new Arc Strider Super Gathering Storm. This is the top choice for damage output as it provides the Arc Hunter with a burst damage super. Gambler's Dodge to get your Arc melee back, Combination Blow to stack up your melee damage as well as refund your class ability on melee kills, and the bread and butter of the setup, skip grenades. For aspects, you'll want Flow State to become amplified when jolting targets and to boost your stats while amplified, and Lethal Current to add the ability to jolt targets with your melee after dodging and blind any jolted target after a melee. For fragments, you'll want Spark of Resistance for an additional 25% damage reduction, Spark of Shock to jolt targets with your skip grenades, Spark of Ions to create ionic traces after defeating a jolted target, and lastly, Spark of Beacons that, while you're amplified, creates a blinding explosion with Arc special weapon defeats. The mod setup plays heavily into your grenade uptime while also buffing your Arc weapon damage. Elemental Ordnance and Bountiful Wells will create 2 Arc Elemental Wells when defeating enemies with your skip grenades. You'll become charged with light from picking up these wells, which will allow you to take advantage of the mod Firepower, which will refund grenade energy by consuming 1 stack of charged with light. And lastly, Font of Might to give your arc weapons a temporary 25% damage boost for 10 seconds. Further boosting this build up with mods like Ash to Assets on a solar helmet to gain super energy on grenade kills, Momentum Transfer on Arc Gauntlets to gain melee energy on grenade damage, and the seasonal mod Amped Up to extend your amplified timer to 20 seconds will only serve to make it even more deadly. With this build, there's a definite play loop. Initially, you'll want to throw your skip grenade into a group of enemies, which will create arc wells, refund grenade energy, and make you amplified. In addition, your grenades will jolt anything they come in contact with, which, when continuing to inflict damage on, create a chain of arc energy to nearby surrounding enemies. By defeating these jolted enemies and creating ionic traces, you'll gain even more ability energy. You can see now how the build focuses on grenades and ability cooldown reduction. You can push this even further by using a weapon with the perk Demolitionist, especially an Arc special weapon, to create those blinding explosions when defeating enemies. There are a few great fusion rifles out there you could pair this with, like the new seasonal exotic Delicate Tomb, or the fan favorite Plug 1 with the perk Reservoir Burst, but the king of all special weapons to pair this with is the grenade launcher Salvager's Salvo. Being able to get grenade energy on kills with Demolitionist, create arc elemental damage explosions with chain reaction, and blind enemies thanks to Spark of Beacons, this thing is an absolute ad clearing machine. Overall, this is definitely a fun build to use, but probably not Grandmaster Nightfall or Master Raid material, but I've been running it in Legend of Master Lost Sectors and Master Catch, and it does very well. You can additionally look at using the seasonal mod Surge Detonators to stun overload champions with your skip grenades and Trace Evidence to create even more ionic traces, further boosting the utility of this build in endgame content where champions are present. That's it for today's build. If you enjoyed the video or found any of the information at all useful, then a like is greatly appreciated, as well as subscribing to the channel for future Destiny 2 content. That's it for me. I'm done. I'm out, and I'll see you all in the next one.